Inspired LED flexible strips are a versatile option for any indoor accent or task lighting application. To make installation as simple as possible, we offer our customers the convenience of both pre-soldered plug-and-play connectors or simple solderless connectors for do-it-yourself fieldwork. However, we recognize that there are certain situations where desire or necessity may require some good old-fashioned soldering. This video will help walk you through the steps of how to do so. Before we begin, let's go over what you will need: a soldering iron, a spool of solder, flux paste, flexible LED strip, scotch or painter's tape, scissors, a 12-volt DC power supply with a 3.5 by 1.3 millimeter plug, inspired LEDs solder on connectors, one per connection point, and a wire sponge or damp kitchen sponge. Now that you have all the tools you'll need, let's go over some safety points. Safety tip number 1. Soldering irons get extremely hot. Our technicians recommend a temperature of 700 degrees Fahrenheit, so be careful not to burn yourself. 2. Make sure to work in a well-ventilated area to avoid breathing in fumes. 3. Pay attention to polarity. Mismatched positive and negative polarities will result in the LED strip not functioning properly. 4. Don't rush. Although once the flux is applied, work quickly to ensure it does not dry out. And 5. Always clean off the tip of your soldering iron between soldering points. You can do this by brushing a sponge against it between uses. Alright, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let us begin. First, turn on your soldering iron and allow it to heat up to about 700 degrees. Next, you want to make sure your LED strip has been cut to expose the copper solder pads. These will be your connection points. You can use tape to secure the strip in place. Now, you will align your solder-on connector with the copper solder pads at the end of your flex strip. It's extremely important that the polarities of the connector match the polarity of the strip. Once you're sure the polarities match, add a drop of flux to each solder pad on the end of the flex strip and a drop to the silver solder points on the connector. Then position the connector on the solder pads of the flex strip for mounting. You will then use the tip of the heated soldering iron to collect a bead of melted solder and touch the melted solder to each silver pad on the connector. Hold it there for about 3 seconds or less. You don't want to hold it too long, otherwise the solder will begin to burn. All that's left is to test the functionality of the system. Plug in your power supply into the connector and make sure your LED flex lights up and you are done. It's as simple as that. But wait, what if you didn't want to solder a connector on there and instead wanted to solder on a bare lead wire? Well, you can. You will actually follow all of the same steps as you did for the connector, but this time you will treat the positive and negative wires on your lead as you did the solder pads on the connector. The act of soldering is relatively easy, but we understand if there is still some confusion. Please do not hesitate to contact us with any additional questions you may have. You can also visit our blog in the link provided for a bit more of a detailed description. Otherwise, this concludes our soldering demonstration video, and we hope you enjoy your new LEDs.